Why are you secretive about your portfolio holdings and the reason for holding them?
I don't know. I don't like the word secretive. So, I mean, we do disclose the full positions every year when we send out our audited report, and we do the top 10 obviously every quarter. And now because we decided to share the top 10 with Morningstar, and we have a rule where everybody gets the exact same amount of information. We're going to also be adding the top 10 to our monthly tear sheet. So the positions will be disclosed unless we're actively buying something, which rarely happens in the top 10, because usually if we're buying it would be smaller. If we're actively buying something, then we may not disclose it or disclose it with a lag, basically. I mean, the reason I don't like to talk about what we're buying or selling is twofold. One is we're not there yet, but at some point, the knowledge of someone knowing that we're buying or selling something could impact the volumes of what we're buying and selling, and that could have an indirect impact or direct impact on basically the price and an indirect impact on the long-term returns that our investors make. So it's in no one's interest to disclose things where you could invite some competition at that point in time, or you're actually building a position or exiting it. That's not the case when we're talking about a Microsoft or Alphabet, obviously, or a Johnson & Johnson, where the volume is so big that no matter how big we are, it's not going to matter. For some of the holdings, it does. The more important decision, we don't like to talk about specific holdings, is that I think it brings in a lot of bias. Once you go up in front of people and start defending a company, especially early on in the stage that you own it, you become wedded to the idea because you've gone out on the record and defended your decision. And it makes it harder for you to change your mind if, I don't know, a couple of months later or a week later, you discover a piece of information that completely shatters your thesis, and the right thing to do is to sell that position. And this is especially the case when you're talking to individuals. I'm very happy to talk about individual positions to other fund managers, for example, because I also don't feel like I owe them anything. If I'm talking to an individual, I feel like if I change my mind, I have to call them up and say, by the way, I changed my mind on XYZ. We thought it was a buy, now we don't think it's a buy. That's just not a good position to be in. With a fund manager, then it's their job to figure it out and do their own homework. So if I change my mind, then I don't feel as much of a duty to call them up and say, by the way, I've changed my mind. So it's a lot of factors, and all of these are downsides, and I don't know what the upside is. So I've yet to find any upside to that unless someone asks a specific question, an investor asks a specific question. Then in that case, it's very obvious it's their right to know why we own something. But other than that, I don't see the upside of publicly talking about it.